Hey there, Sagittarius. Welcome to your reading for the week of May 5th. We are going to jump right in here. You have this Aquarius card. It says Rebellion. It says think outside the box and stretch the boundaries of what could be. You have this Wealth of Knowledge card. It says connect to the knowledge in your soul to teach and help heal the world. So definitely always a good thing to do at this time. I think thinking outside the box is kind of going to be your secret weapon at this time here, Sag, because we do have a lot of energy with Pluto and Aquarius, and really outside the box thinking is rewarded during Pluto and Aquarius. But also, you being a Sag, you are able to transmute energies. You are able to mix things together, like different ideas, and turn them into something, the world has never seen before. And those are the things that I would be working on at this time, because those are the things that are going to probably increase your abundance or probably help you the most. And, that's what I would be working on just in general. You have the Six of Swords, the Four of Wands, and the Star card. Now, Sagittarius, you are pretty much always the last sign that I do every single set of readings, which is actually a big benefit to you because you get the benefit of all the other readings and, kind of like the realizations that I have during that time. And, I've seen the Six of Swords a lot. I've also seen a lot of portal cards this week. The Four of Wands is like a portal card. There is a portal in the middle of the card that you have to cross through to get something better, to, have something else in your life. So, it seems to be like a portal week where people are kind of making decisions that they're not going to go back on. And that's kind of what I feel for you with the Six of Swords, is that you could be making a very important decision this week. And it's going to be something that, like, once you make the choice, that's it. There's no going back here, Sag. But I would say it's a good thing. I mean, you have very good cards here: Star, Three of Wands, Two of Wands. We'll see what comes up when we clarify, but it seems to me like this is a good choice. You have the Four of Wands, and the Four of Wands, of course, can represent marriage. I don't see a ton of love here yet, but, again, if you do want love, of course, there could be a commitment coming in for you. More importantly than that, like I said, this is a portal card. This always reminds me of like a finish line. And the Four of Wands is truly the card of freedom. So we have to set ourselves free by making a commitment and crossing a finish line and then going and celebrating with these people that are on the other side of the Four of Wands. So it seems to me like a lot of you are making a choice this week, or a decision. It's an important choice, and I feel it is one that you will be celebrating in the future, plain and simple. I feel that, this isn't maybe something that you're going to accomplish overnight, but it will be something that you do accomplish, and it will make you happy. So I definitely like to see that. You have the Star. The Star is like a card of hope, faith, and renewal. It's a card of sometimes getting a wish. The Star is also Aquarius energy. Now, the thing about the Star is that there are these 7 stars around the Star. And those are the 7 stars of the Pleiades. But the 7 stars, sometimes, like, this isn't accurate tarot, what I'm about to say. But, this is kind of what I feel for you here, Sag, is that there might be like one big thing that you really want to accomplish at this time. And then there might be other little distractions. And I feel this is saying, focus on the big picture choice in your life right now, and don't worry about all the little things that are going on. It just seems to me like this Star card is really encouraging focus for you, Sag, and it's really encouraging you to like stay focused on one thing. The other thing I'm getting on the Star, like I'm hearing something about like, don't put things in front of this, but that what I think that means, Sagittarius, is that it's like sometimes when we get started on something important, then we say, well, actually, I have to, go do the dishes, or actually, I have to go mop the floors, right? Like, I've been there, where it's like, I come up with all these other things I have to do other than what's important, and I really get the energy here on the Star that's saying, like, if you're working on something important, just work on that. Don't work on all the distractions. Like, the dishes can wait till later. The floors can wait till later. And, I'm not saying that it's cleaning that's distracting you, but it might be something else, And so I feel this is saying there's like something important that you're working on or doing this week, and that should be your focus, right? And you can worry about the other stuff later. And that's exactly what I would do with that card. With the Six of Swords, you have the Ten of Swords. Everybody's like walking away from things that no longer serve them, and everybody is probably moving away from things that have stabbed them in the back or things that are dead, done, over with. It is kind of a time of like karma in some ways. You know, we have the North Node in Pisces, and the North Node in Pisces is kind of like karmic in some way, where, you know, it kind of like gets into Pisces. We've learned a lot of lessons. We've been through a lot over the last many years, and now it's time to like just say like, okay, I learned those lessons, and now I'm moving forward. And the Ten of Swords is about focusing on the blessings, right? He is making this symbol with his hand right here. It's the same symbol that the Hierophant is making. Now, normally, the Ten of Swords kind of represents you realizing that something that didn't work is a blessing in disguise. But I feel differently for you, Sagittarius, in this reading. I feel like it's saying that you are kind of like seeing the blessings in the lessons that you have learned, and you're just like moving forward with that Six of Swords. With the Four of Wands, you have the King of Swords here. You do, and I thought so. You do have the Queen of Swords. So whenever I have the King and Queen of Swords in a reading, I'm not the biggest fan of those two as far as divine counterparts is concerned. But like in a reading like this that is mostly positive, this could just say that you haven't met the person yet. You know, the King and Queen of Swords are like two people who don't see eye to eye, but it might just be two people who aren't talking yet. So if you are, you know, if you're looking for a person, there definitely could be a person that you just haven't met yet that's going to be coming in for you. The King of Swords also says that you have all the knowledge and wisdom necessary to cross through this portal. So if you're making a choice, this is saying like you know more than enough to be successful. I love it. With the star, you have the sun, which is amazing. The sun and the star together is like fame and fortune. Obviously, it doesn't say you're going to become famous, but it is very good for getting attention. And you are a Sagittarius. You know, Sagittarius is fame. So, you know, for a lot of you, this could be like a great opportunity this week to stand out, like in work or business. You know, whenever I get something like this, I always tell people, like in work or business, if you're trying to get a raise or promotion, do something like extra to stand out. You know, if you have a business, you know, do something to stand out. If you're trying to get love, do something to stand out, because you will. And, you know, that's what I would do with this energy for sure, is I would do like extra work to stand out. The other thing is I would really be focusing on joy. Pretty crazy. Everyone has had the sun. I can't remember a week or a monthly reading that I've done where like every single sign gets the sun. Now, so, you know, there could be just like a lot of joy and happiness in the energy for people to embrace, and I would definitely embrace it, right? Next, in the area of what's coming in for you, you have this Let It Go card, Ten of Swords. It says, let go of all that no longer serves you. There you go. You have this connect to the eternity within. Let yourself be held by love. Sun, right? With the sun, we have to choose happiness. We have to choose to, we also have to choose to allow life to be easy. You know, I think something people forget about the sun is that this child is carrying this big banner right here. And it's meant to look like something that is very heavy, but he is carrying it very easily. Now, I don't think life is meant to be easy, but there are things we can do to make things easier. And the sun says, you know, are there ways to make your life easier? And there probably are. So I would be looking for ways to like simplify, to bring more ease and flow into your life with the sun. You have the Two of Pentacles, the Knight of Wands, and the Queen of Swords. I do feel like you're very busy this week, and the Two of Pentacles, sometimes I just feel, is talking about busyness in general. It says like you have a lot going on, you're running around from place to place to place, and but I just feel like very general energy about the Two of Pentacles. And you know, like I said, I mean, you know, I think it's good. Another thing that's popping into my head is, again, sometimes I feel we have these waves behind him here, and they start off kind of small, and they get bigger as they go across the card. So sometimes I feel like the Two of Pentacles is that it's like saying there's something that's trying to get your attention in life, like those waves are building, they're getting bigger, and it's like getting harder and harder to ignore. And so if there is something that is trying to capture your attention, sun and star, or if there's something that you keep paying attention to, whatever it is, it could be like an idea, a choice, a decision, it could be a person, a place, or a thing. Whatever you're thinking about, I would, you know, explore. I would go and see what it's all about, you know, and because again, something is like trying to get your attention. You have the Knight of Wands. Knight of Wands is a very good energy for Sagittarius. He's very spontaneous. He's going on an adventure. Sagittarius loves adventures. He is willing to learn as he goes as well. And that's kind of what I'm getting with that Two of Pentacles. Like if you're coming up with an idea, or if you are thinking to yourself, I want to go try this hobby, right? I feel like the Knight of Swords, or Knight of Wands, is saying explore it. See what happens, and just go on the journey. Be spontaneous, be open. You have that Aquarius card which says think outside the box. Knight of Wands is great at thinking outside of the box. If he tries something and it doesn't work, he just builds something else and does something in a different direction. So that would be an amazing energy for you. You have the Queen of Swords. I'm actually going to show you on the table. The Queen of Swords is looking over to this Queen of Pentacles. Queen of Swords, she only has clouds halfway up her body on this card. So the Queen of Swords represents clarity, or being clear for the first time. And so I feel that you could be getting clear on your resources. The Queen of Pentacles is a card of resourcefulness or being resourceful, but I feel like you are getting clear on something financial that could be improving your finances. Can't make this up. With the Two of Pentacles, you have the Ace of Wands. Passion, desire, out with the old, in with the new. Ten of Swords is out with the old. And so there could be some sort of like new desire in your life, or a new beginning that you desire coming in for you. And there's really not much to say on the Ace of Wands. The Ace of Wands does encourage us to grow the fire. The Ace of Wands is just a spark. That's why the Ace of Wands in the negative can represent like a fly-by-night relationship. It can represent something that starts very quickly but ends just as quickly. Same thing in business. It can represent something that starts very quickly but ends very quickly. The trick with the Ace of Wands is we have to keep giving it food. We have to, in the form of wood, right? We have to build the fire in our life with something. So that's what I would encourage you to do. If you're starting anything new this week, or I would say for the rest of the month, really, based off this reading, if you're starting a new project, make sure you keep giving it attention, keep working on it, keep moving forward. I feel the need to like stay motivated on something as well. And that's what I would do with this Ace of Wands energy. With the Knight of Wands, you have the Ten of Cups. A lot of happiness in this reading, for sure. So I would be paying attention to doing things that make you feel happy. Ten of Cups is also fortune after difficulty. There could be some blessings this week. So like I said, a lot of people this week have been getting this energy. So clearly something is going on this week that is bringing blessings to people, or bringing like a little bit of a breakthrough. And I feel that's good, of course. With the Queen of Swords, you have the Seven of Wands. I would just stay open. I don't think the Seven of Wands is bad for boundaries, but sometimes I feel we do need to open up a little bit more with the Two of Wands energy. Like sometimes we can be a little bit too closed off, or we can be a little bit too set in our ways with the Seven of Wands. And I do feel the Seven of Wands is like encouraging a little bit of flexibility, especially with like how you make money with that Queen of Pentacles, or how you use your resources. The Queen of Pentacles can be any resource. It can be time, effort, attention, energy, whatever. So, all resources that you have, I would be saying, it might be time to like open up a little bit. Next in the area, messages from your future self, you have this daydream card. You have a lock and a key, and it says, having your head in the clouds can be a source of great inspiration. Ace of Wands is inspiration. But be careful when your fantasies become an escape from reality. If that isn't a statement for the time that we're in, I don't know what is. We had Neptune and Pisces. Neptune is going to retrograde back into Pisces. Neptune and Pisces is a big impossible dream. We need to not, and the trick with Neptune and Pisces is we have to escape the fantasy. It means that we have to bring the dream down to earth. You have this walk away card. It says, what you're doing now isn't working for you, but are you willing to walk away to make room for something better? You probably are making room for something better. Ten of Swords in your reading. So for a lot of you, I actually don't think you're walking away. I feel like you're kind of like, well, you could be walking away from something to make room for whatever this dream is, and so you're like making space for the dream. You have the Five of Pentacles, the Three of Wands, and the Queen of Pentacles. Five of Pentacles can represent feeling left out in the cold. It can represent poverty, or poverty mindset. I always say fives have very easy solutions. So the solution to the Five of Pentacles is to not call attention to your weaknesses and to focus on your strengths. Right next to it, we have the Strength card. So clearly, it is a week where you are going to want to focus on what you're good at, focus on your strengths, and don't focus on the reasons you can't do something with that card. You have the Three of Wands. Yeah, like I've said this to you before, Jupiter in your opposite sign. I would say, even though Jupiter leaves Gemini in June, you are probably still going to benefit from that energy for months to come. So it is definitely not a time for Sag or Gemini to play small, right? I think the Three of Wands is saying, it's a good time to like take bigger risks and put yourself out there in a bigger way and to make bigger commitments to the things that you're working on. Now, that doesn't mean you have to like make a commitment where you're going to lose it all. That's not what I'm saying, but it's a good time to make those commitments where you really put yourself out there. And that is kind of like a little trick with Pluto and Aquarius. That, the type of risks that we are going to take during Pluto and Aquarius are more kind of like the risk of exposure, meaning that you could be taking a risk where you say something at work, like you speak up in a meeting, and the risk is that you're wrong, right? Or the risk of starting a YouTube channel, or the risk of, public speaking. Those are like the bigger types of risks that you should be taking with the Three of Wands. So again, they aren't even, I'm not even talking about like financial risk here. It's more like those types of risks where you're taking up space. The Three of Wands, he has to take up more space in the world, is the whole point of the card. He has to get out into the world. He has to get on these boats and go on an adventure into the unknown. So therefore, he is taking up more space in the world. And I feel that this card is encouraging you to do that. It's like saying you need to put yourself out there in a bigger way. You have the Queen of Pentacles. Something about money here for sure. I mean, she is a card of resourcefulness, but I feel different about her in your reading. I feel that you are more clear on your finances, or like what you need to do to make more money. And yeah, it feels good here, Sag. Like, it's definitely going to be an adventure. I don't think this is something that is going to happen overnight, for sure. But I do feel what the things you're doing are kind of like multiplying. We have this rabbit right here on the card, and the rabbit on this card can say, the rabbit can be like multiplication. Rabbits multiply very quickly. So it can say there are things that you are doing in your life, or there are activities or business ideas that can multiply very quickly. And that's what I would be focusing on with that card. With the Five of Pentacles, you have the Five of Swords, risk-taking. The Five of Swords can represent walking away or separating away from something. But I always say the Five of Swords is like taking a risk. So definitely some sort of risk. I don't know what else to say. You're taking a risk of putting yourself out there. With the Three of Wands, you have the Page of Cups. Yeah, definitely could be love coming in for those of you that want it. So we talked a little bit about love. There is a little bit of love in this reading. And the Page of Cups would be like an admirer. So if you want love, there definitely could be a strong connection that's coming in for you with the Page of Cups. The Page of Cups can also be a dream. He has this fish in this cup here. And sorry, I'm losing my voice all of a sudden. But let me clear my throat. Again, you could be attracting a person, but you could be attracting a dream. That fish might not exist. It might be part of his dream. And like I said, you have that daydream card. I don't think that card is saying don't work towards your dream or your dream is impossible. If anything, the whole point of the star is that the star says a dream is possible. She is pouring this water onto land here. That water is coming from the pool of universal consciousness. And it basically says what's possible for one person is possible for anyone. So if someone has done what you want to do before, then you can do it. With the Queen of Pentacles, you have the World. Very good. There could be some sort of financial accomplishment coming in for you here, or you could be reaching new heights in your finances. This feels more like levels to me, Sagittarius. I don't really know how to describe what I'm feeling, but it's like I feel like you are kind of leveling your finances up, but it's like one of those things where there are multiple levels to what you are doing. It's almost like a video game, right? It's like there are certain experiences that will get you to the next level. You have to gain that experience to get to the next level. And I would encourage you to do that as much as possible. So this could represent like education, could represent certain experiences that you have to get to that next level. And this is why I always encourage people to take risks, because it's like, yeah, you might have a failure, but it's going to level you up in some way. And, I kind of get that feeling off of this card. Next, in the good stuff, you have this Cut Your Losses card and this Avoid Drama card. So with the Ten of Swords, you definitely could be doing something to cut your losses. And obviously, it would be a good thing because it's showing up in the good stuff. Also, avoiding drama would be a good thing as well. We have the Strength card as your first card here, and the Strength card can also be a card that says avoid drama. she is taming her inner voice. This lion is submitting to her, and that lion represents her inner voice or her inner critic, but she has her hands in that lion's mouth. So it could say that there could be some opportunities for you to like fly off the handle this week, but it's coming up in the good stuff, so it would say you probably aren't going to do it. It kind of says watch your words. But again, coming up in the good stuff, I feel like you are. The strength card next to the Five of Pentacles also says that you are probably going to be focusing on your strengths, which is a good thing with the Five of Pentacles. That's exactly what we need to do to solve the Five of Pentacles in a reading. So I kind of feel that a lot of you are doing that right now already. You have the Two of Wands. Two of Wands is about taking the lead and getting out into the world. So I do feel a lot of you could be like taking the lead on something and getting out into the world with the Two of Wands. I like the Two of Wands, but I look at the Two of Wands in a reading as more of a neutral card. It's like not really good necessarily. It can represent progress, but he also needs to do something to make that progress. He has to leave his castle here. He has to leave his comfort zone. But coming up in the good stuff, the Two of Wands definitely would represent you making progress towards a goal. You have the world in this reading, and he has the world in his hands. And so the Two of Wands and the good stuff would say that you are realizing that there are changes you have to make to have an accomplishment. The world can just be an accomplishment. This is like a level that you have reached in your life. That's the whole point of the Two of Wands, is that he rushed to a finish line. The story of the card is that he built his castle and he didn't enjoy the process. He just did it as quickly as he could and just wanted to get it done, and now he has nothing to do. And so now he's kind of like a little bit bored and he might not be feeling fulfilled. But the point of the card is that he could go on an adventure. He could go build something new somewhere else. And I feel a lot of you could be kind of like working towards your next big thing or your next big accomplishment with that Two of Wands. You have the King of Wands. King of Wands is about being bold, being assertive, really making things happen. Even though King of Wands could be you showing up here. So I kind of do feel that whenever you show up as yourself in a reading, it puts you in a position of power and strength and allows you to get what you want from the reading. So I feel pretty good about this. I kind of just feel like it's your energy showing up in the reading. With the Strength card, you have the Chariot. This is about quieting the noise, right? Five of Pentacles, Five of Swords, Ten of Swords. These are energies of needing to plug your ears and just go on your adventure. The Chariot is setting himself apart. He is leaving the city behind him so that he can move in a new direction, and so that he can build his own city, or maybe he can find a place where the rules are more in alignment with what he wants. The problem with the city on the Chariot is that everything is the same. It's like he's experienced the same rules, the same experiences, the same things over and over and over again, and he wants to be in alignment with something new or something different. And so I feel you could be making moves to get into alignment, or it's like you're finding your place in the world, right? With the Two of Wands, you have the Six of Wands. Yes, definitely like a victory or success coming in for you with the world. Six of Wands, Two of Wands. Seems to me like you're making a lot of progress this week as well here, Sag. So I like to see that. With the King of Wands, you have the Page of Swords. Page of Swords says follow your curiosity. I've noticed a lot of kind of like childlike energy in the readings over the past like month or so. And so it might be a really good time for you to be more curious, for you to look for more, just look for other ways of doing things, explore more, adventure more, be innovative, think outside the box with that Aquarius card as well. Next, you have this Younger Woman card. It says Younger Woman. It says dealings with relationships in the Younger Woman. I always clarify these cards. It got clarified by the Woman card, which says dealings with relationships with a woman. So let's pull another card. And it says Finger, warning you of a problem either now or in the future. Again, if you are dealing with a person, I would be very careful of people right now. There's like this weird energy, I think that everyone is dealing with where, whenever there are a lot of problems going on in the world, it's like, people look for a solution, obviously, but it's like sometimes people look to you for a solution. And I kind of feel like this is saying, you can't solve every single person's problem. And if there's a person in your life who's like being immature or who needs to figure it out on their own, I feel this is saying let that person, it doesn't even have to be a woman. I feel for some of you, you could just be dealing with a younger person who needs to grow up, and that's what I would do there. You have this February card, and you have this bouquet. It says compliments from an admirer. You could be attracting like an Aquarius. You have the star showing up here, and someone who was born in February, and that it could be an admirer if you're looking for love. We do have the Page of Cups here, so definitely could be a connection. You have this candle card. It says you will be shown the way. Yes, definitely a good reading for paying attention to the light. The sun is like a spotlight in a reading. It like shines a light on something. The sun can represent your attention, where your attention is being drawn. Your attention is clearly being drawn to something, and I would pay attention to whatever that is. You have this dogs card. It says getting together with friends. Yeah, I think it's a great time to surround yourself with positive people, people who lift you up, people who want the best for you, so that's good. You have this eye card. It says psychic ability, trust your intuition. Yes, definitely a good time to trust your intuition as well. But this looks pretty good, Sag. I like it. So thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your week.